Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Meanderings. I'm Juan.
I'm Karen.
Co-host Karen down. We're going to be talking absolute trash today.
Bit of rubbish.
Deep thoughts and a lighthearted touch is our normal little go-to, but today's probably going to be more lighthearted than normal.
Lighthearted conversations with a deep touch, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. It is the opposite way around for the Meandering session. Today I've got two things I want to talk to you about. One is some memes.
Okay.
And two, something about how to be polite versus impolite in conversation and debates.
Okay, I've got a little bit about anti-activism and maybe a little bit of personal thing about me, which might be funny.
Okay, all right.
Let's kick it off with a mere mortal moment. Yep. Should I do mine? I'll do mine.
I think so.
Calling all causes, operative down, reporting for duty. So, why is that? Well, I'm going to talk a little bit about my anti-activism, and I want to get your thoughts on
anti-activism.
On the opposite of doing what Henry Spira did. So I've been recently talking about Henry Spira, who was an animal liberation activist back in the Dizay.
Yep.
And I want to ask you, if you had to be an activist, what would you try and do to generate the most backlash against your own cause? So you're being an anti-activist. You're infiltrating. You're actually one of the bad dudes. You're infiltrating. What are you going to try and do to choose what you want? Animal liberation, domestic violence, religious persecution. Like choose the cause you want.
Choose a cause, and then how would you be an anti-activist? Okay, I'll think about that. Let me talk to you my immortal moment. Mine is a good meme should bring you a day's worth of joy. But we'll get into that a little bit. Okay, so I'll let you kick it off. I'll let you kick it off if you thought about it.
I'm gonna try and just do this off the cuff.
Yeah.
So let's just choose a cause that is undeniably like a good thing, and then we're gonna have to.
I'll go animal rescue.
Okay.
Animal rescue.
So that would sort of be like RSPCA.
Yeah. Yep. RSPCA style, rescuing animals, taking in animals that need shelter, that type of stuff.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I would probably like initially go down the route. So I'd obviously need to do my research. So I'm gonna probably do some research online, but I'm also gonna join. I'll probably join the RSPCA. I'll probably join Cats for Cradles or whatever the shit. Dogs for Discos. I don't know.
Dogs for Kennels, whatever. Dogs
for Kennels. And live the essence of an activist for a while. And so I think, and we're talking about activists and not just the general thing. So an activist would probably be one of the persons like really getting far out there. So maybe the RSPCA isn't a good one. Let's choose something that we've seen people do here in Brisbane, for example. So the anti-corona. So we're going to be anti-corona ones. So
anti-corona.
Yeah. So you were talking not too long ago about the guy jumping on the roof of his car for some reason, and that was like a coronavirus like anti one, right? That they were saying the coronavirus didn't exist, they were breaking the law by being congregating and stuff.
Yeah,
like that, right?
but I don't know if I'd call that person anti-coronavirus, more anti being forced to be in lockdowns.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that the person cared about the coronavirus, more about the fact of no, you can't prevent me from being free and doing what I want to do.
Yeah, I would. Well, anywho, I think the essence of it would be you want to. I think reason stupid people into the opposite of what they actually want. So if there was like animal liberation, they're talking about let's just say not eating meat at all. So
let's do that. Yep.
So I would probably go down the route of like picking the dumbest person that I could find in it, and then just trying to see what ways, like what level of rationality they'd respond to, because some people just, you can convince them with like the stupidest, most roundabout logic ever, and that's enough. So I would probably go down that, and then I would champion that person, be like, this is the champion of our cause. Put them at the front, give them the microphone, and then like let them run loose, and then it would just turn into absolute mayhem. That's sort of what I'd be thinking.
I think I would do something similar, I guess, but it'd have to be focused on probably just like 5 of the loudest people in whatever group it is that I'm choosing to go for, and just like, whether rational or non-rational, just pushing an idea onto them, or some, because you can always find a well thought out, what seems to be rational description for both sides of the equation. Like you could see it from one side, let's say
For sure.
pro-coronavirus or anti-coronavirus, whatever it may be, or pro-meat, anti-meat. I actually was listening to a Joe Rogan, and I can't remember the other guy's name, but they were like very pro-carnivore conversation going on and the reasons why. So I think if someone even was like maybe on the fence or something, you could probably push enough content to them to be like, hey, just check out 12 hours of this, and they're really loud, and just let them go loose, and then be like, now you go wild. But I'd also implement some sort of pyramid scheme to it as well.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, if you can get 5 other people to like promote the cause, I'll buy you a steak. And then, and then those people have to buy you a steak or something random like that, where it'll be a pyramid scheme specifically focused on the fact of entrenching the use of meat or something like that. Or I don't know, if it was anti
That's actually a really good one, I think. Discrediting the cause because you can show how everyone's in it for their own personal gain because they're just getting mad steaks for free and saving hundreds of dollars a week on steaks.
Exactly.
And a big expose comes out and it's like, oh my God, this leader of the cause, he's actually just part of the steak cult.
And then everybody, That's how it would work.
Yeah, I think that, I'd go with your plan. I think you've got the way to go.
Okay, I want to ask you about some memes.
Okay.
So recently, my meme consumption used to be low.
Okay.
Like low or non-existent.
Yeah.
I didn't use to check in.
So Juan was not part of the meme economy?
No, not meme economy at all. Like not even on the Dogecoin, none of that. I was never on that. And the last time I was ever part of memes was Believe in University. So 2013 was probably the last time that I really looked into it.
Yeah.
And recently I've talked about it a lot, but obviously on ASX Bets, the Australian Wall Street Bet style Reddit forum, they put out a lot of memes. Funny memes,
some good memes,
stonks, good funny stuff. But that's the only place I get funny memes from. And I have a good laugh with them. Like, sometimes it's a couple of hours, maybe I'll recall it later in the day. I'll be like, that poor soul that lost bloody so much money. Funny. Where do you get some good memes? So I'm almost reaching out to the audience and to Karen. Where's the memes of today? Where do I find them?
Yeah. I get mine through, so I'll sometimes go on 9gag every now and then. That's definitely conservative memes. So if you want...
Conservative?
Yeah. It's definitely got a conservative bent to it.
Is 9gag the type where... You just scroll through
it'll just,
endlessly?
It's sort of like
style?
an infinite feeds type. And it will be on anything, but I have noticed like the trend is towards what I would say like a slightly conservative, slightly anti-establishment as well sort of vibe to it.
Okay. What if I want like I'm talking some real extreme, funny, sometimes dark level, like where you'd be like you'd be on the side. It's like, oh, this is it's a bit on the edge.
The probably like edgiest ones I've seen have actually just been some Instagram pages where
oh really?
Yeah, just coming across it. Even like podcasting people. There's people who we've followed at some point or other, and they didn't do anything about their podcast on the page. It was just memes. And some of those memes, some of those memes were they're okay, but I tend to get rid of them.
Okay. There's one actually that I'll call out. I haven't remember it's called Moist Giraffe. Go and check them out. They do post some pretty edgy but funny ones. But the other one was, and I can't remember who posted it on our Mere Mortals sort of Instagram fans, but they posted, the Empire Records, little whatever it is, bot or pages that posted everyone. They put like a post where they'd replied to Empire Records being like, oh, hey guys, did you want to sponsor us? Oh, it seems like you want to sponsor us. Okay, cool, fine, you can sponsor us. And that was the whole post. And then with a bit of comments being like, we are now sponsored by Empire Records. Here's our foolproof signed documentation that proves it or whatever. And I think Empire Records commented back being like, follow Empire Records, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, oh, that's pretty good. So,
yeah, I don't get those. What do you think is the strategy of those?
I think they'd be outsourced to some third world country where they're probably they're getting followers by people like going through the comments to some level, and it's just like an absolute blast. Like it's probably either bots or people just commenting on everything they can find.
Yeah, but like, what's the end goal? How is money being made? Because I'm assuming it's not just being done for shits and giggles. 'Cause-
Well, I think there's been probably two ways. I reckon that Empire Records one is because it's got 441,000 followers.
yeah, so I should say, so we've basically been, and a lot of the people we follow, there's just been random spamming on the Instagram comments, and it's been going for, I don't know, a month now, and 2 months perhaps, and it's probably every third post, I would say.
But I'd say that their go-to is, so they got almost 500,000 like followers.
I think it's more than that.
And if you actually go on, I think it's 441,000.
Okay.
And if you go onto their page, you can actually send a message of like, oh yes, we want to be shouted out by you guys, and then you got to pay them to do that. So it's like that's a payment way. But a lot of these other ways that these bigger Instagram pages do it is that they'll get big, and then they'll sell the whole page to somebody else.
Yeah. So that was the other. So here we go. I'll even hold it up to the camera.
Hold it up.
Oh shit! Did I just turn on my Bixby edit?
Good.
They're right at the bottom there.
Oh, look at him! Look at him.
Yeah, you can't.
Very good.
Very good. Anywho, so Emperor Records, 1.1 million.
Emperor Records. Oh,
Told
damn.
I knew it
Oh,
was.
huge.
I knew it was in the million.
Huge.
But I'm not seeing shout outs of any,
Those would be considered shout-outs, I
okay.
guess. So,
damn dude, every single one of these podcasts have just
it would have been scanned for it.
nominated themselves for dumbasses of, like, why wouldn't you just do
Well,
the basic research to go, oh,
The weird thing is, though, like, I wonder where those 1.1 million followers, like, what type of 1.1 million followers are. Like, surely a tenth of them are real people. The other
be.
9/10 will be fake, but who knows? Maybe it's even bigger ratio. So,
Yeah.
I mean, if you paid to be on Empire Records,
Emperor Records,
Emperor
man.
Records,
Give them some
Emperor
credit.
Records, sorry, Emperor Records. If you paid for Emperor Records, have you seen a success from it? Have you gotten value from it?
Yeah.
'Cause if you have, I mean, we might be talking shit here and we're completely wrong.
Yeah,
It might look like a front, but maybe it isn't. Maybe it's
a
realistic.
legit business that's actually making money.
But I somehow,
I
don't believe it. But we'll see.
I don't see that being a valid, a smart long-term strategy to do that sort of stuff.
Okay, here's another one I wanted us to cross by you. So,
Okay.
politeness versus impoliteness when it comes to conversations and arguing with someone. So, this, I'll probably take it back to more work context again. I think a long time ago, I'm talking 5 years ago, when I used to have conversations with people that I used to look after, we would get into some arguments. And the argument could be because there's a gap in the way that I'm thinking and they're thinking, or they're seeing in a different viewpoint and I'm seeing a different viewpoint. And there would be a polite conversation or argument to be had. And it usually came on, like, normally it was, here's my viewpoint, here's your viewpoint, here's the difference, this is why I'm thinking I'm correct, this is why you see it's correct, blah, blah, blah. And you get to a point of almost an impasse, like, oh, well, we haven't gone to a point. And then it would almost cross to that impolite level of like, okay, well, I'm the manager here, so this is what we're goddamn doing, motherfucker. This is what we're doing. Now, I never got to like those exact words, but it used to sometimes get to the point of it being like, all right, I get that is the best way. However, this is what, you don't see this from like a higher up level. This is going to be an issue in 2 weeks. This is how we're doing it. So I get your point of view, but I am like,
Putting your foot down.
yeah, I'm putting my foot down, and this is what we're doing, and it is my I'm accountable for this. This is what's happening.
Yeah.
And I feel like that crosses into the impoliteness, I guess, rather than being polite. Have you got some thoughts when it comes to polite versus being impolite in arguments? And is there a case for being impolite in an argument?
Oh, definitely. There's definitely people who need to know that they've crossed a boundary of some point, and impoliteness is one of the only ways you can do that. Whether it be, now, some people take it to extremes of getting into shouting matches. I'd probably never be in that strategy myself. I would definitely be in the stage of potentially just walking away or showing active disinterest. So if you're talking to me, I just look over here and just chill out that way.
Yep.
Just make it obvious, like no eye contact, no nothing. Just you might as well be invisible, that sort of thing.
Like a brick wall style response.
Yeah. Or just completely change the topic. They're midway through talking about their favorite meal at Ching Chong Chang Chinese restaurant. And you're like, dolphins are a weird animal, aren't they? Like what's going on with them? Just completely change the topic. I think.
Have you ever been really impolite to someone?
Oh, I'm sure I have, and I'm sure, but I'd say most of the times I've been not intentionally, just unintentionally, completely being a dickhead for
whatever reason.
Yeah, for whatever reason. Yeah, I would say there's a need for it. When to actually bust it out though is a different question. Yeah, I mean, we were talking just before about when you sort of get trapped in a conversation and someone's just talking at you. How can you show that you're not that interested? And it's like, I sort of subtly will, but how long then should I be willing to waste my own time?
I mean, when I was thinking about it, I was like, if you're not very polite, you run into some issues. Definitely. Like, you're going to be running into some issues if you're really not polite.
Yeah, you get walked over.
Yeah. And, well, no, what I'm saying is, no, if you're not polite.
Oh, okay. If you're...
Like, you're going to run people
impolite
over.
just in general.
Like, if you're just, in general, not polite. Like, you're super direct.
Oh, for
if
sure.
someone tells you, like, I had this really nice lunch, and you're like, shut up. And I give an absolute toss about your fucking lunch. I'm doing my work. Go away. And, like, for everything. But if you went to the other spectrum of being too polite, I think that could be even more detrimental.
Well, that's what I was saying. You get run over. People treat you like you need to have some level of respect coming through. Yeah.
Well, and I mean, you could still have a level of respect. You're just not like showcasing, not being outwardly showing like, hey, like, no, you shouldn't do this to me or whatever it may be. And sure, maybe that's respect that you show and respect that you think about yourself. But I think you can get some real trouble if you're too polite. Like, yes, you can get into trouble if you're not polite, but it's almost, in some places, I think it'd be almost expected. Like, that's I'm assuming in a really high-end law firm, or I'm thinking strategy consulting when it's like, you're doing really late-night projects. Yeah, people are not being polite. People are like, this deck suck balls, like, this is stupid, you're an idiot, go away. Like, just go and do this again. And it's like, yes, cool, okay, I'll take it and just go do it. But if you're too polite there, if you're like, you know what, analyst, you can go home, it's fine, I will do it all myself. Like, you're going to die as like a partner or a director. You're just not going to get your shit done.
Yeah.
So
what's the least impolite thing, or maybe let's put it this way, the rudest thing you've ever done?
The rudest
intentional thing. Or unintentional? I've got one. If you
pull yours out, I'll think whether it's a work or a personal context I can pull out.
Okay. So when I was working in the mines, there was two guys. I think they were called like Greg and some guy starting with J. I'm just going to say James. And they were like both sort of just weathered old men, I would say. Who were working underground. I only ever knew them underground. I only ever saw them underground. And Greg and James, like, I'd sort of chat with one of them, but we're on the same crew, but like I'd be working over here and I'd be working with one of them as sort of like a junior dude. They'd just tell me what to do. Then next time around I'd be with the other one. And one day we're all in a group together and James is just like asking me something, and then it's like, Karen, out of me and Greg, who do you think's older? And I was like, I think you are, James. And that was the wrong answer to give, because there was a 15 year age gap. I think one was 36 and one was 51 or something like that. It was a huge gap. And but men, both were just weathered to the extreme. So I was thinking like, he's trying to trick me, or like it's like or like it's like, a 2-year age gap, but who cares about a 2-year age gap when you're both in your late 40s. But yeah, so that was he held that against me for a long time. Yeah, and that spread throughout the crew as well. So then everyone knew that you were the one. I was the one who
calling him old.
Yeah. So
nice.
That was definitely one of the rudest. I've had a couple of others, particularly on dates with girls, where I've guessed their age way older than what it actually is.
I don't see why age is such a rude thing. Like, it's a guess. Like, it is a genuine guess. And I get, I can conceptualize the fact of, you think I look older. Like, fuck, if I think you look older, then yes, I think you look older. That's it. Like, what the fuck? What do you want to do?
Yeah.
Okay. Like, the other day, I actually specifically asked a girl, I was like, how old do you think I am? It was at work. And she was like, ooh, I think you're 34.
Okay, yeah.
And I was like, nah, I'm younger. And she was like, 33, 32. And then we got to like my age. And then she was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so embarrassed. I'm like, why? Like, who cares? That's just what you think. Yeah. That is genuinely what you think. That's like, I don't know. that's like as silly as someone saying, you know, do you find this tree, I don't know, a good knock when you knock on it? And they're like, no. And they'll be like, oh, no, I was wrong. Like, man, it's just what you think. It's that subjectivity to it.
Yeah, that intentionally putting down the age, even though that's not what you actually think, just in case, because you don't really get in trouble for saying someone's younger than they are, unless you're like in some sort of work context and it's like, oh, you think I'm immature, spit on you. Age is a weird one.
I do recall having to, I guess I'd say there's a rude thing, is when I was very, very first starting to lead teams, and I was 23-ish at the time, 23 or 24, I don't know. And I had one guy in particular who, he wasn't in the team for long, but he was, I don't know, mid-40s and had kids and all this sort of stuff. I remember just getting into one of those arguments with him about something, a piece of tech or how we were delivering something. And I could see that he was going down the front of, oh, well, you know, like, I would know more than you because I'm like way older than you and I've been in IT. And I'd like told the guys, like, man, I've only been in IT for like 2-3 years. Like, I don't really know any of this stuff. So feel free to prove me wrong. But he was getting to a point, he was like, oh no, we can't do this because of X, Y, and Z. And like, you wouldn't know this. And then just by chance, I just knew something about what he was talking about and had like studied it for, I don't even know for what. And I just schooled him on it. And I was like, no, this is why you're wrong. Bang, 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 bang. And I was like, so if you want to talk to me about it, go and learn about it. If not, go and do what I've just said. And then, yeah, it was just like, oh, okay. But I was like, oh, okay. That's where I was like, just put my foot down. It was power got to my head.
Yeah.
Power got to my head. It's, what does Jocko call it? You've got like, for a lack of what it is, it's like, you know, you've got your leadership quota or your leadership points. And you only have so many. You can only use them up so many times. And now it's like the incorrect time to use my leadership quota. So it's the, there is another saying. I've got to look this up.
Yeah, okay.
Bring up your next point, but I'll bring this up to, I don't want to recall it.
So I've been saying recently that Henry Spira, that was the actor, one of the principal animal activists back in the day where cosmetic testing was being done on animals and people were really protesting against it for the first time. People really starting to show some interest in like, oh, you can actually slaughter an animal in a slaughterhouse in a way less cruel manner if you use these sort of machines and this sort of stuff. And I was like, all right, I'll add him to my like list of sort of inspiration. So that list now includes him, George Orwell, and
that is
Mark Twain.
Short list.
It's very short. Like I'm not don't have any qualms about it. It's just what it is. And I was thinking, man, all these guys are sort of like loner loser types. If you look into their biography, Henry Spira didn't have like even a long-term relationship, didn't have children, didn't have like wife or like didn't have money, sort of like lived Spartan style in like a small rent-controlled apartment.
Don't know if I'd call that Spartan style. Almost like homeless style.
Yeah. Get to that stage. George Orwell, notoriously bad with women. Like I read some of his letters.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Just very like a very awkward, weird guy around women. Even though I think he had a long-term relationship, it was like strange. He was a strange guy. Yeah. Mark Twain, I believe, had a couple of kids, but yeah, just like rough life, didn't really connect with his kids, all this sort of thing. I'm like, damn, dude, like all the people I like, alone or loser. Do I really want this?
Strong influence. Well, I think it's good to have them, but perhaps there's other people on the influence board you might want to have that provide some positivity or at least some benefit in those other areas.
Yeah, I think like the thing is they've just reached a special category. So there's someone like Simon Sinek who I've recently come across. I'm like, man, this guy's really cool. Or Lex Fridman, or people like that who I'm like, yeah, damn, these are really cool people, but it's only like a certain group who have reached a top tier level. Yeah. So
would you say that the George Orwell's and Mark Twain, they reached like a pinnacle level in your eyes?
There's something about them which I find really, really extraordinary. Those other people I mentioned, they're really cool. I like parts of their personality, but they had a pragmatic streak in them. They achieved certain things that I just find really, really like amazing. They were able to switch mindsets, switch careers, switch all these different things, just in certain ways where I'm like, holy shit,
this is impressive.
Cool. Yeah. I don't know if you saw before. You were getting photobombed hard.
Oh, was I?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So you'll see
hopefully
that.
we can go back and find the photobombing.
Oh, dude, it was for a minute. She was
Oh,
standing
was it?
there behind you for a minute, waving her arms.
I kind of
and-
had a bit of a look to see if it was, it was
'cause
something, but I couldn't
so
really
we've got
see.
the cameras facing us, people, so I can sort of see the little square. So
That'll be good. Okay. We'll go back, pause it,
I'll-
expand the image here,
maybe-
put a face here. I'll go and
I'm not doing that.
I'll reverse hack her face. We'll find her Facebook, and I will send her this YouTube video before it even comes out, and I'll be like, just so you know, bitch, I'm on to you.
Yeah, and put like maybe I'll like tattoo a Nazi symbol on her arm or something.
just Photoshop it over. I was just seeing in the video, being like, oh, as you can see, we've got some pro-Nazis here in Brisbane. Man, I just love that.
Good stuff.
Speaking of the influence board, I'm trying to think. I don't think I have one,
So like we
but
met,
I can list people obviously on top of. But I'd say Jocko Willink.
Yeah.
But I think he's a person that has a lot of good information and good character and good viewpoints that I trust, and I take some part of it. Would I put him in like the influence level?
Yeah, like
I'd say yeah.
They have to be dead as well. That's the other.
Oh,
sort of
right.
criteria.
Is that your criteria for yours?
Well, apparently so. Like that's
Who
what-
says that?
Well, the three.
Who says this?
100% confirmed. The
Who
three
says
people on
this?
my
Oh,
list.
I gotcha. So
all three of them are dead.
Parents list, all of them are dead, so that's what you have. If you have an influence board, it has to be all of them dead.
Yeah.
Shit. Because I'm going to have to go kill Jocko
Yeah,
Willink.
exactly, man. Okay, good luck.
Jocko, watch out, mate.
Tell me how that goes.
Rest in peace, Juan. Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest
Very
in
good.
peace, Juan's like neck once he tries to aorta Jocko.
Yeah, with the pen.
His pen just gets stuck in like the very first muscle
fold
bit
of
of
it.
his neck,
And then it'll block out and just
then
kill
Jocko's
me.
like, you just see an arm and a hand.
I'm pretty
going
sure
towards his face.
he would kill me if we like do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Even Joe Rogan.
All of
if
them
anyone,
are.
if anyone's actually good at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, they're going to kill you.
I think if they wanted to,
Straight up,
they'd
straight
just
up.
choke you out real quick. Yeah.
That's the way. All right, well, I got nothing else.
Good.
You got anything else for the meandering session?
No, I think that'll keep me there.
Good. Did you find the hidden things in the video,
Got
folks?
some little gems.
No, it wasn't the person photobombing me.
Yeah.
That's not the Easter egg.
Yeah, did I can't remember if I said on camera, but I was saying like one of the if I had infinite money, one of the things I would do is like I'd employ people in the background to do stupid shit, but at like stupid times. So I'd start talking about handstands, and I'd have a timer on my phone. I'd see that it's coming up to 15 minutes, so I'd introduce the word handstand right
And
at 15 minutes, and at that exact same moment, that person would do a handstand at 15 minutes. I can tell you, this is not what just happened there.
Okay, you didn't pay that
I
person
didn't pay
to
that
go in front
person.
of him? Oh,
No.
God. All right, well, if listeners want to check in on potential other photobombing opportunities, where can they go check that out?
Yeah, check us out on the YouTube videos. Check us out on our Instagram page. That's all good fun. Me and Mortals Podcast. Type both of them into the platform and you'll find us. And you.
Good. All right, folks, that is it. One out.
Going out. Bong, bong.